Well, today might be a first not just for Non-League to Legend, but for the channel as a whole. A transfer window is complete, but I've only signed 6 players permanently, and we've brought in more money than we've spent. I mean, it's uncharted territory. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I feel like I've learnt to do money. Hello and welcome to Season 4, Part 1 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have our first game of the new season away against Notts County. But before we get into that, we need to look at the summer transfer business. And I think, and you need to let me know down in the comments, I think this might be the best summer of transfer business I have ever had. I'm sure you'll be the judge of it. Before we show you the actual players though, look at this financial situation. It's remarkable. What a turnaround from where we were just, last episode even. We've got £1.5 million in the bank. We're only £750 over our wage budget, which is remarkable for me. The projection is positive. I mean, yes, we're losing money, but in 3 years' time, there's still going to be money in the bank, apparently. I mean, it's all unheard of. It's ridiculous. A lot of it has to do with selling a youngster who's never played for me, but we didn't sell him for a huge amount. Let's, without further ado, look at the transfers that we've had. And that's it. Only 6 players coming in. Some very important names on that list, though, but we've not spent a penny. But we've sold £375,000 worth of player. The most notable of which is young goalkeeper Ben Archer, 18 years old, didn't really play for us. He had a couple of games before I arrived, but didn't play at all for me. He had a minimum fee release clause of £375,000. There must have been 30 teams come in for him. Everyone at all levels of the game pretty much has come in for him. He's decided to go to Watford in the end, who've immediately loaned him out for the season to Chester. He is going to be a decent goalkeeper. It's a shame we only got the money for him that we did. If he didn't have the minimum fee release clause, I'm sure we would have got $1 million for him, because so many teams seem to want him and no one batted an eyelid at $375,000 at all. It just didn't put anybody off. But in my defence, I didn't give him that contract. Whoever is here before me did. And it's been very helpful. It's got a little bit of money in the coffers, and I think we've invested it wisely. Other notable outs before we get to the ins: Anton Ferdinand has retired. Quite a few of the fringe players from last year have moved on. Adam Eckersley, Ollie Lee, Marcus Harness. Joe Martin wasn't a fringe player, he was our regular left back, but wanted far too much money to stay. He wanted to basically double his contract, and we just couldn't justify giving him the money he was asking for. Mr. Useless Jason Williams has gone. Onariassi, the backup centre-back, has gone. Stephen Rigg has been sold for pretty much what we paid for him. I think we've done some quite good business here. He came in when we had an emergency last year. We needed an extra striker. He wasn't particularly impressive. He wasn't great for us. He scored 1 goal, got 1 assist. We've sold him for just about what we paid for him, and he's now found his level, hopefully, down in the conference for Ebbs Fleet. But more important than any of that are the players that we've managed to bring in, and the most important ones of all are these two players we had on loan last year and have signed to permanent contracts to the club. Jonathan Benteke, yes, we're paying him a lot of money, 1.6, so £1,600 a week. He's here on a 2-year contract. We know all about Benteke. He was the star of the season last year when he arrived, and I'm over the moon that we've been able to bring him in. I don't understand why he signed for us, other than the fact that he had a very, very successful loan spell with us last year. Suddenly that £63,000 we paid to have him on loan is looking like amazing value, because I don't think he'd have signed permanently if he wasn't already here and settled in and knew he'd be a success here. So we've effectively signed surely eventually a championship quality player. He's already a decent player for most League One sides, and he's turned up for us. I think with his potential, he'll be back in the championship at some point. He's not as young as he could be at 24, but we've got a player who's going places, and hopefully he'll take us with him. So we've got Benteke in. Arguably more important, though, is we've also signed Adam Jackson permanently. He was the loanee centre-back who came in last year, 25 years old, came in from Barnsley, I think it was, on loan. Was fantastic for us at 14 games, an average rating of 7.51, one of our players of the season again. He's one of the main reasons we're not at all bothered that Anton Ferdinand has retired. Leading player for League Two sides, again, got potential to improve, maybe a little bit, not massively, but Really important player, the right age for us as well at 25. Future captain of the club, maybe. Really happy to have him in as well. On top of those two, we've brought in Andrew Steele, who is a backup goalkeeper for us. Look at this lad's potential. He comes in off the back of our relationship with Man United. We were already aware of him. He was one of the players who was offered to us on loan last year, and also one of the reasons why we weren't that bothered about letting Archer go, because I think we've potentially got a better young goalkeeper as a replacement. He's a year older at 19, same current ability at 2-star, but with 5-star potential ability, and Archer apparently only has 4.5-star potential ability. So Andrew Steele just comes in an exact like-for-like swap. I think we've brought in a better young goalkeeper, and we've brought in £375 into the bargain. So as far as I'm concerned, brilliant start to the transfer window. And then it was just filling in the gaps, really. We generated quite a few gaps with the players who left, so I mean, these aren't world beaters, the rest of them, but I think they plug gaps in the squad. And we were in good form at the end of last year, and hopefully that will roll over. So we've got a new left-back. Rob Tamelty comes in on loan from Bristol City. 19-year-old left-back. Not masses of experience. He was on loan at Shrewsbury last year, or Shrewsbury. It's another one I don't know how to pronounce. Let me know in the comments. So he's got most of a season in League One under his belt. That's going to do him very nicely. He's going to come in probably as our first-choice left-back. And Nicolas Schiavi, an Argentinian striker, 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. He was playing for Oldham again in League One last year. 9 goals in 29 appearances. Doesn't tell the whole story, because if we have a look, he actually only started 18 of those games. So he was a goal every 2 games man last year in the league above where we are now. That's surely only going to improve our attacking prowess. Ellis Plummer, 24-year-old centre-back who can also offer us some cover out at left-back as well. He comes in on a free transfer from Rochdale. Again, League One experience. He's played 2 full seasons in League One for Rochdale. We're building a squad of League One players. The media have actually predicted a 3rd place finish for us this year. The board only want mid-table. I think we can do better. We're at least going for the playoffs this year. Remember, 3 teams go up automatically and 1 extra team through the playoffs. So the media are predicting automatic promotion for us this season. I'm quietly confident. Not that quiet, because I'm telling you lot all about it, but I'm excited. Ogo Obi, 21-year-old striker, comes in on loan from Watford. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential again. Not got any previous playing experience, really, other than a short loan at Hemel Hempstead about 3 years ago. But he's another one who's as good as Taylor Crossdale, as good as Schiavi. Just comes in to offer us more options up front and isn't going to cost us a penny because he's in on a loan. James Blanchfield is a really talented young central midfielder, comes in on loan from Ipswich. He's one of a couple of the players, I think, who are only in on 6-month loans because that's all we could get. So we'd be hoping to extend them until the end of the season if they turn out well. But he was on loan at Luton last year. Did very well for Luton. Half a season, 2 goals, 5 assists. Better average rating than pretty much our whole squad last year. George Fowler is another one who comes in on loan from Ipswich. 21-year-old centre-back who's going to offer us some valuable cover there. Another one with 5-star potential. If we can do the same thing we've done this year and bring some of these players in permanently at the end of the year who are in on loan, we're going to do very well out of these loans again. He played a full season for Notts County last year in this division. And also Rekyle Pike comes in from Huddersfield on loan. He's a striker who can also play anywhere across an attacking 3 as well. 3-star current ability. Another one with 5-star potential ability. He scored 30 goals in 42 games for Carlisle in this league last year. He also had a full season for Barnet in League 2 last year. But we have got a player who scored 30 goals in our division last year as one of 4 strikers who were all apparently similar ability. We're living in ridiculous fantasy world. And then we've also brought in a promising young defender, John Mcdonald, 2-star current ability but 5-star potential. He's only 18. He comes in on a free transfer from Man City, and he's another one who's going to be blooming good for us. I'm so happy with this squad. It is ridiculous. If we have a look at our pre-season prediction, we've already mentioned it, but the prediction for us is a 3rd place finish. I reckon if we can start well and get a good run of form together, we could win this league this year. Remember, we ended last season on a 7 or 8 game unbeaten run. Most of it was a winning streak as well. I'm excited. I'm confident. We have got a few little injury problems to start the season off. This is going to be our team for the first day of the season. If we just get rid of some of these other squad players now, pre-season's over, just filter them out. So Adam Jackson has picked up a knock, which is a bit of a problem. He's going to be out for the first month or so of the season, which is not ideal. Taylor Crossdale is another one who's starting the season with an injury, as is James Cragen, where is he? Why won't you show me his injury? I mean, we're not bothered about him, but he's out for a week or so. We are going to have Pike on the bench, not even on the bench for the first day. This is going to be the slight problem. Because we've got so many players in loan, we can only play 5 of them at a time. So I know Pike's a 30-goal a season. In fact, I want to play Obi because I think he'll work better with Schiavi. And because of that, we can't even have Pike on the bench. We're going to do that today to see what this lad's like. If he doesn't start scoring immediately, then Mr. 30 goals a season comes in. You're probably all going to call me an idiot for not starting him on the first day of the season, but he was really an afterthought. I had this front two in my mind before we found him, so he's kind of an afterthought that we're going to struggle to fit in on We'll figure something out. Bear with me on that one. Long term, we'll have Jackson back into the back four and Fowler drops out of the team, and then we can have Pike in there as well. But we might have to have a little bit of a rethink to get him in somehow, some way. But this is going to be our team for the first day of the season. So we've got Ted Smith in goal. A back four, a completely new look back four, really. The only survivor from last year is Romeo at right back. Along with him, we've got Tamelty at left back. Plummer and Fowler as our centre-back partnership. Then in midfield, Anthony Wordsworth signed a new contract. That's almost as important as Benteke and Jackson signing because he was brilliant and we thought he was on his way. Dundee United wanted to sign him, but in the end, I think that end of season form, his Player of the Month award at the end, just twisted his arm and he decided to stick around with us. He's going to be partnering a returning Aidan O'Neill, who's in on loan just for 6 months. We couldn't get him for the full season, but again, we'd like to extend that if we can. And then James Blanchfield, the youngster who comes in from Ipswich. Benteke is then going to be in behind the new look front two of Obi and Schiavi. I'm so excited. I just wish we could get Pike in somehow. We'll figure something out. Let me know in the comments what we do to get him into the side, because obviously we need to get him into the side. Unless Obi gets like 5 goals today, in which case Pike can just sit there and take his chance when it is presented to him. So Notts County are the favourites for this game. So considering we're promotion favourites, presumably Notts County are going to be right up there with us as promotion challengers. So it's going to be quite a big game to open the season. And this is a big opportunity for us to sort of put a marker down and say, yeah, this is how good Southend are this year. Look what we just did to Notts County. Fear us. But on the flip side of that, we've got a lot of new players. And I know we haven't completely overhauled the squad, but there's a lot of loanees in and a lot of new players. So it is a very new look team. We seem to have got around the match engine confusion of knocking tactical familiarity down miles, because I guess a lot of the new players are returning, with Jackson, Benteke and O'Neill. Fowler's in and we're 1-0 up after half an hour. George Fowler has his first goal for the club, and it's a goal against a former club as well. So I guess he's spent some time on loan at Notts County previously. I guess I just showed you that as well. You probably already know that. I wasn't paying attention. So it's a Blanchfield free kick, floats it in, and Fowler is completely unmarked. That's terrible defending from Notts County, but we don't care. We'll happily capitalise on stuff like that and just hopefully hold on to this now. I mean, we know from last year that Notts County are a pretty decent side. They caused us problems when we played them last year. So even a draw in a game like this, first day of the season, we're not favourites for the match. If we can go here and even come away with a draw, we'll be happy. But as it is, fingers crossed, we're going in at half-time 1-0 up. And the stats are encouraging as well, because we're ahead in just about every area. That's about as good as the first half as we could have wanted. The only downside is at the moment, the 2 strikers aren't doing anything particularly special. But it's less concerning when you remember who we've got waiting in the wings to jump in. Not only Pike, Mr. 30 goal a season, but we've also got last year's top scorer, Taylor Crossdale, coming back from injury. We've got Sam Byrne, sat there on the bench today, who was very good last year. We've got so many options. Right, let's get Byrne on. We're going to switch this back to the target man that he was last year. I quite like having a target man in there. See, we don't have another striker on the bench. We need to get rid of one of these loanees, I think, and get Pike into the squad sooner rather than later. Benteke is not having the greatest of first games as a permanent member of the squad, so we'll get him off and give Ryan Meadows what I'm guessing is going to be a fairly rare appearance. He's got 5-star potential, but we didn't use him much last year. I don't expect to use him too much this year unless he starts to really push on with that potential. He got in with a chance there, and that was our second clear-cut chance of the game. It was a bit of a shame that he's not able to tuck it away. And actually looking, I mean, we're being efficient everywhere apart from up front. So straight away, I'm thinking, right, we've got a solution to that problem. We perhaps, I mean, that midfield change is something that sorts it right out. Merkin's in for O'Neill. That could be a way we start the next game to get Pike into the side. But fingers crossed, we can just hold on. Romeo's got the ball back there somehow. The match engine sort of just skipped past how he did it. Who cares? He perhaps picked it up and ran away with it. I don't care if the ref didn't see it. Meadows finds Schiavi. Part of that burn is in. And, yeah. Let's see now. Notts County are going to have the last kick of the game here, but Smith has got hold of it. There's 5 seconds left. And he just needs to take a booking, just keep hold of it for 10 seconds. Who cares? And we've won our first game of the season. It wasn't a spectacular, all-conquering victory, but it was a victory against a very good team. We've got a winning start. All positive. Oh, it's going to be a good season, everybody. Let me know down in the comments what your predictions are for a finishing position this year. I'm going for first. We're going to win the league. I've decided. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. As is tradition, first day of a new season, we'd love to get to 500 likes. So if you can pop a like on there and help us get towards that 500, that would be much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.